Hello YouTube, John back here with Beer, Bourbon and Bushcraft. On this episode we're going to review a beer, a bourbon, and go over a bushcraft or survival tool and give you a review on all three. Tonight we're going to start with the beer. This is Gaelic Ale. It is from the Highland Brewing Company, which is in Asheville, North Carolina. This beer is 5.5% alcohol and it's an American amber ale with a malty body which finishes with slight touches of caramel sweetness. We'll see. Being Scottish myself, I was drawn to the Gaelic Ale. Thought it looked good. I liked the tartan on the printing, on the label. Thought I would give it a try and do a review on it and see how it fares. So we'll crack this open with a hand-forged bottle opener that you'll see in a forthcoming episode when we go to the forge and start talking about blacksmithing as some survival skills, something you need to know. We'll definitely do a video on how to make yourself a bottle opener like this, or any variation you want to. Now, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect because you know what? It just opened my beer. That's what it's supposed to do. Let's see how this Gaelic Ale from the Highland Brewing Company in Asheville, North Carolina is. You've got a nice pour, not too much head on it. So, not overly carbonated, which is good. I'm not a huge fan of highly carbonated beer. It's got a nice amber color to it. Nice creamy head on it. First smell, you can definitely tell it's an American ale. It definitely has that ale, the chocolate malts that they use when they brew. You can definitely smell that in there. It's got that scent to it. It's nice tasting. It's not overly sweet. It definitely has some hints of caramel to it. Not being a complete beer expert, but if I had to guess, I would say that they use Cascade hops and maybe Great Northern hops in this. The hops are very, very light, so if you don't like a hoppy beer, if you're not a big fan of the Pilsners or the IPAs, you might want to give this a shot because the hops are very flat. There's enough hop in there that you can tell that it's got hops to it, but they're not overly strong, which I'm kind of a fan of. I'm not a huge IPA or Pilsner fan. I don't like that tartness that you get, the aftertaste from those beers. Oh, that's good. It sits well on the tongue. It's not overly carbonated, so you don't get that snap on your tongue to where you want to get it off. Feels like it's Pop Rocks on there or something. Not super sweet. Nice medium body. This is definitely a very good overall beer. I'm definitely enjoying this. I would have to rank this in some of the better beers I've had. Like I said, I've never had the Highland Brewing Company's products before. But for a good American ale, this definitely hits the mark. I would have to say on a rating scale, as far as beers go, and I'm thinking of my rating scale when I'm talking about beer would be, I'm going to sit down and have a beer. This is not, I'm going to throw a 30-pack in the cooler type beer and sit by the fire. That's something that we'll talk about later, and definitely a much less expensive product, something that you can just sit around and you don't mind if 8 or 10 buddies grab out of it. This is something that you want to sit down and actually enjoy a beer. I think I would give this a 7.5. It's definitely a very tasty beer. It's not too sweet, not overly carbonated, but might be a little bit on the underside of carbonation. They could probably use a little bit more as far as my tastes go. But for an American lager, definitely very good. They have a good mixture of malted barley in there, the caramel and the chocolate. You can pick up distinct tastes of both of them, and they're very well balanced. So overall, 7.5. This is a very tasty beer. I'm very happy I picked it up. Again, Highland Brewing Company, great job.